Oh man, here we go again. WWE 2K25. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about a game franchise that hasn't had the greatest of luck with fans and overall. While you could say we're out of the trenches of wrestling gaming entirely, which honestly, coming from these two screenshots that I have in my possession of the tragedy that was 2K20, we've come a long way. We've definitely come a long way, guys. From 2K22 onwards, 2K's definitely done a really amazing job at an overhaul of changes over the course of these past few games that have been released, like the addition of new game modes, or just adding game modes from past games that people have been wanting to see for a long time. 2K usually goes one step forward and then, sadly enough, two steps back. Unless you had a last gen like your boy. Sadly, that was the only redeeming quality of 2K15. Besides the amazing choices to showcase storylines, it just wasn't a good game whatsoever, sadly. But back to the topic at hand, which is 2K25. Now, at the time we were recording this video, we've gotten a bunch of embargo dates lifted, which means we've gotten a variety of old and new features added into this game to give it a better twist and a better feel of the gameplay, I guess you could say, with chain wrestling being implemented back in, as it has a unique twist with new features and gauges where you can kind of just manipulate the match as it goes on, which is pretty cool to see, and I guess you could say innovative to some degree, as it just makes you feel like you're playing an actual wrestling match instead of just going into a grapple immediately and following up with an Irish whip or a heavy attack. But it's definitely a nice change of pace from what we're used to. And before we go further, I really just want to mention that if you were to tell me months ago that Kalani Jordan, Ethan Page, and Sol Ruka are going to be in this year's game, I wouldn't believe you, man. I really wouldn't, dog. Oh my god. But just like every game release, we all have our thoughts and opinions on it. Now, obviously, besides the amazing and aesthetically pleasing looking graphics and nice lighting for Showcase, which I'm going to be playing a lot. Personally, there's still some things left to be desired, specifically not only with the island, but with how the game is going to run overall, as with all these big changes coming to the game. And my god. Now, don't get me wrong, the models for the superstars look great, spot on to real life, right? But since 2K15, why in the hell do the titles look like this? Why? Now, it may be the most minuscule topic when it comes to talking about the 2K series, but why do the titles look like they got dipped in the highest quality of Dijon mustard, dog? Why? But aside from my little rant on how I feel about the WWE Championship's current look, I have some wants and I have some thoughts to get off my chest before the game comes out. 2K is really synonymous with having not only bad servers, but community creations in 2K24. I can only say so much about it. That's nice. So for this next game, I really hope they go on to really fix the issues that community creations had in the last year's game. But besides that, I mainly care about the gameplay aspect of everything. Like for me, growing up with WWE 13 and 2K14, when I was a kid playing those games with my cousins on the weekends, it was always something to look forward to and always have a banger match with him or with other people. It just always engaged my excitement. Whether I lost or won a match, it was always something that I loved, and I always look back at as the golden times for my life. And most of all, the best times of my life. While I will say 2K has done their fair share of improvements to really capture the essence of you playing a wrestling match, there's been definitely some big changes when it comes to modes like backstage brawls, where it's more than just one area you can fight, and you can find in the archives, which is a really dope arena setup where you can like go through the fists and you can go through various of WWE's past miscellaneous treasures and charms over the years, which I was absolutely excited to first witness, as most of the gameplay that I got to watch throughout Smack Talks or This Gen Gaming, shout out to them, I was definitely more excited. But the more excited I was about the gameplay alone from these specific brawl areas, the more questions started to grow with me as the time went on. Like, how much freedom are we actually allowed to go in these areas? Because there's most likely restrictions. Throughout these past few 2K games, there has only been so much you can do around the backstage area, which slowed down a lot of engagement for people, but I'm glad they're taking a step forward in the backstage areas. Now on to the most talked about mode being added into the 2K series, the Island, which I guess is their take on 2K's Neighborhood from NBA 2K. Now, while this may be something new for a bunch of 2K fans, whether it's WWE or NBA, I see this as a very skeptical thing that is very worrisome. While it does look and seem nice on paper, I don't think it fits the caliber of a wrestling game and what it stands for. While I have played a bunch of NBA 2K games in my day, it just doesn't mean that off rip I'm gonna enjoy this being implemented into a WWE game. It's like two worlds of mine that are just collaborating and making this one thing that I don't necessarily like, which is not good. While I hate to be that guy and be the bearer of bad news, I just don't really like the whole idea of this island mode just it being in a WWE game, and it just has me worried for the future of wrestling games in general and what they could possibly implement. Besides that, I'm not entirely as worried about this part of the game. Underground has me hyped, I can't lie. Even though it may seem for some a useless game mode, and from what I see from gameplay, it's promising. And for someone that likes blood sports, which is not really necessarily WWE, it's GCW for people that don't know, this has me intrigued. Though I kind of wish it resembled somewhat of a MMA meets WWE style match, it is what it is, and I like what 2K did with this. I feel the exact same within intergender wrestling, which we haven't had since SGR 2009, which is kind of a surprise, but not entirely a surprise. Considering the program and the beef between Rhea and Dom, this is really nice to see that we're actually being able to use both women and men. Not only in one-on-one, but in various matches, which is absolutely amazing. But a few questions I have are, how good are these matches going to be? How good are these modes going to keep us entertained for? How long is the game going to survive? While I would love to say that this is just a copy pasta of last year, there's been new changes and a bunch of stuff that could keep us engaged and loving this game for a while. But only time will tell how good the game will actually be come launch. If y'all made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed. And let me know in the comments down below if y'all want to see more commentary videos like this. And I hope I elaborated in the best way I could. I didn't entirely feel like I did a good job, but hey, it is what it is. Love y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.